Um, so prior to using the patches, I had a terrible accident, an acetabular fracture. So my femoral head had slammed into my pelvis and just broke the hip socket and traveled about 8 inches and was resting on top of my on top of my pelvic bone. So you can imagine the devastation. So I was in the hospital for 3 months. I was in a wheelchair for a year. And doctors said I probably would never be able to run or do any types of sports like that. So if you know me, like Monica does, that just wasn't acceptable to me. So I began to research other ways and to heal. And in December, Monica had called me, and I still had been suffering from chronic pain. I started noticing, well, from COVID, I had lost a lot of hair. My memory wasn't that good, and I had lost my sense of taste and smell. And I'm a chef, so that's pretty devastating thing to happen. But I wasn't sleeping. I had inflammation to the point on my right side, a 26 centimeter scar, about 8 pins in my hip. And I couldn't sleep on my right side or much less sleep for about 3.5 years. So, and other things had been going on in my life, went through a terrible divorce. So Monica called me one day and said, "Okay, girl, I got something for you." And I trust Monica explicitly, and I know her experience and background in this industry. And we had said that unless something, could just perform a miracle, basically, I didn't really want to even consider it. So she told me about it. I took one look at it, barely, and just said, "Hey, I'm in." And I'm desperate to find something that's going to help me because I hadn't been sleeping, and my stress levels are through the roof. So that wasn't the way I was going to live my life, nor was she going to let me. So thank you. But so the first when I went diamond, I went all in, and I started using the X39 and the Eon for about and I had quit everything. I was even on hormone replacement stuff, the creams and things like that. So I said, I'm going to quit everything and just see what the patches can do. So sure enough, I noticed that my night sweats. Well, the first night, I hadn't slept more than an hour or two for 3.5 years. And that first night, I slept 6 to 7 hours straight. And for me, I cried. I called Monica and let her know, but to not sleep for that long was just miserable. And so that was a huge triumph. And I just said, okay, I'm gonna keep using these things. And so I noticed that about 3 weeks in, I wasn't feeling the same chronic pain. Sometimes I would have to sit for a moment. It would feel like my whole leg had become out of joint. I didn't feel that for 3 weeks. And about the third week, I woke up, and oh my goodness, I woke up on my right side for the first time in over 3.5 years with no pain, which to be able to sleep
Wow.
without pain and be on that side of my body, I hadn't even realized I was sleeping so deeply that I didn't even realize I had turned to that side and been sleeping all night long. So that was incredible. And then I started noticing about 4 weeks in, I introduced carnosine, and I had these bad floaters in my eye and my vision. I have astigmatism as well. And I no longer have that astigmatism. As a matter of fact, when I got new glasses, I couldn't even, the ones they had prescribed for astigmatism, I couldn't even use them. I had to take that out. And then the floaters in my eye had gone away. So, I mean, those little things like scare you when you wake up. They're like little ants in your eye. They're completely gone. So that was with carnosine. And then I started thinking, well, hey, I'm going to go run. We'll show these doctors. So, yeah, I was in Pensacola, and my friend is a professional runner. So we went out on a ladies' day on a Wednesday, and a bunch of ladies gather together, and they run, and they do these intervals where you run 1 minute and you rest two and you run. And I thought, well, I bought some great shoes too. So that helped a little, but I knew I wouldn't be able to do it any other way because I had good shoes before that. but I put on these shoes and I started stretching, and I noticed that I could stretch where I couldn't stretch before without pain. And oh, well, that's strange. Maybe it's, and it was, maybe it was the beach, but I didn't have to. But so we start jogging. I say, hey, I'm going to take it easy and hang back. And so I start running without any pain, where before I could literally feel the impact on my hip joint. And I kept running, and I was able to do the minute, and then I rested, and I did that the whole way. I thought, no way. So then I started, I used the X49, and I said, well, I want to introduce the X49 while I'm on this this amazing feat. So I said, shoot, I'm going to train for a 5K. So sure enough, about a week later, I was staying on the beach, and I said, well, I'm going to try to run one. And my goal was under 50 minutes. And I used to run a mile when I was younger in 6 minutes. So I was pretty fast. So I start running down the beach, and I ran almost the entire way, stopped a little bit. And this was sand on the beach. And I made it in 49 minutes and 52 seconds of 5K on the beach. That's like so excited. So and ever since, and it's funny is that even stuff that you get so used to being in pain sometimes and living a life a certain way that you become accustomed to, that you don't even notice when you're not hurting anymore, until one day somebody starts talking about it and you're like, oh yeah, me too. I don't feel that anymore. So I'm now learning to live a life without pain, where that's all I was living, was a life with just dealing with pain. And that's no way to live a life. So not only has it's given me my life back, which for me, what I had gone through with going through a terrible divorce, the anxiety, the depression, it was a bad one, a very bad one. And I had also been assaulted, and my labrum was torn, and I don't feel the pain from that as well as often. It's getting better. Wow. And another thing, hair. I'm with you, Destiny. Okay, I'll go that way. So all this hair, look, all this, that's all brand new hair, all this. And all this part of my hair was complete. I had lost it in COVID. And my hairdresser was looking at it, and she did a part, and I had a pure part, where before she said my part was jagged. And I have a lot of hair, but the part was no longer jagged. It was straight and filled in. And then she goes to blow dry it, and there's tons of little baby hairs. And look, now there's more baby hairs. See all these baby hairs?
Yeah.
So I'm going back to baby. It's awesome. So it just more, I could probably go on if I sat to think about it a moment. Oh, another thing, my gums stopped bleeding right away within the first 2 weeks. Gosh, so many things. And my knees, they wanted to do, I have a torn meniscus, and on the other knee I had a torn meniscus, and they were going to do surgery, but the swelling went down. I don't have the swelling the same way anymore. And I had, oh my goodness, I had a lot of stuff going on. Thank God for the patches. I have neuromas on my metatarsals on the bottom of my foot, and plantar fasciitis. And neuromas are little tumors that are wrapped around the nerves of your feet in between your metatarsals. So before it's still not, before I couldn't even get up and walk, I would have to put my feet in some warm water and massage them for at least 10, 20 minutes before I woke up. And now I have a little bit of pain when I step down, but it's getting better. So.
Wow.
I'm so grateful. So the patches that I used, Alavita too. Then I started using Alavita, and I used to have a real deep 11 here. It's gone. And I just turned 57 last week. So I'm using everything.
Amazing, Michelle.
And then I have energy enhancers too.
That's amazing. And what an extraordinary testimony.
I'm so grateful.
What an extraordinary testimony. Thank you so much for being with us and for sharing. And
You're welcome.
Jackie Armstrong asked, how long now have you been doing the patches?
Jackie, I started in December and I haven't stopped since.
But December
Of last year,
2022.
2023. Of 2023, yeah, 2022. And we're now, wow, time goes by fast. Yes, a year and a month.
Yeah.
And yes, I am 57. Thank you.
She looks
I love
extraordinary.
this.
Michelle,
Oh,
is
and I'm
there
not wearing any
anything?
makeup.